Hello and welcome to Guns and Yellow Ribbons Live. This is the Europa League Frankfurt preview. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. We thought we were on live about 5 minutes ago and we were chatting away to ourselves. And we forgot to press the button, so we're here. Pottsy, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, mate. Take two. It's always good.
Take two. Right, okay. So Europa League, Frankfurt, old man Trev's out there. Should this be our main focus, like the Europa League? It is a route to the Champions League. We got to the final last year. Should we put as much effort into this year, or should we concentrate more on just purely going top four?
I think at the moment, top four is a priority for us, seeing as who else is around us. But come February, I think we'll look to see how we're doing in this competition. We should be able to get through this group quite easily with our kind of B team as far as I'm concerned. So at the moment, go for top four. But yeah, we've got to have a good game tonight. It's going to be very, very difficult, in my opinion.
And it's tonight. It's not really tonight, actually, is it? It's this evening.
A few hours away,
yeah. It's 5 to 6. That's going to be really strange. I don't know whether I'm going to be in the pub or sitting at home and watching it, and eating my tea. You know, it's a bit strange, don't you think?
Either way, you'll have a beer, mate. I imagine.
Me? Of course. Listen, they're no mugs, Eintracht Frankfurt. They got to the semi-final last year against Chelsea, and they are unbeaten in 16 games in the Europa League. They've won 12 and drawn 4. They're unbeaten against an English side in the Europa League as well, because Chelsea couldn't knock them out in 90 or 120 minutes in the semi-final. Had to knock them out on
penalties, wasn't it?
What do you make of the game? Like, you know, this is going to be the first time Arsenal have played Frankfurt in a competitive game. The atmosphere there is going to be quite electric, I would have thought, because the Germans do like to celebrate. They got their ultras and everything else. What do you make of the game?
I feel it's our toughest fixture of this group. I think it is the toughest fixture. So we're starting off with the hardest game. It is away. It's going to be tough. I don't know many of my mates that think we're going to take 3 points, and I'm one of them. I don't think we'll take all 3. I think it's going to be a tough fixture. But what I'm looking forward to the most, Fergus, is seeing who he's going to be playing. Who are we going to start? Because we're quite limited at the moment with who can and can't play and how much he can rotate. So for me, if he is going to bring in players like Rob Holding and stuff like that, that's fine. But he's kind of limited up front, in my opinion. We've only really got Aubameyang at the moment, haven't we? So I imagine he'll play. So it'll be interesting to see what 11 he goes with.
Well, we got Martinelli and Saka.
I think they could be used wide. It depends really. I'd like to see him start Pepe, because I think this could be the game that he could get his first goal, and that's all I need Pepe to do is just get his first goal, and I think we'll see a really good player there, because he has got everything in his locker. He just needs that first goal.
And Arsenal have lost the past 4, the last 4 away European trips to Germany. I was at the last one at Cologne with Dave Hurl, the Jonah, scoring twice and conceding 13 in the process. So, as you said, it's not going to be an easy journey, is it?
Well, with our defence, Fergus, it's never easy, is it? Let's be honest.
No, that's true. In the Champions League. And the Europa League combined, Arsenal have been eliminated at the first group stage only once since 20 years, in the last 20 years, 1999-2000 season. And as I said before, Frankfurt semi-finalists, unbeaten at home this season in the league. And they are our biggest opposition, as you said. But their manager, whose name is Adi Hütter, Adolf Hütter is his actual full name, but he goes by Adi. He's an Austrian, so we're playing Adolf. He considers us the biggest opposition, and he's also very worried about Aubameyang if Aubameyang does start. So looking at the squad, what do you expect from the lineup? We're left Socrates and Ozil at home. Ozil has only started one game and played 71 minutes so far this season. On the other hand, Socrates deserves a rest. He did have a bit of a mare at the week.
I kind of get the Socrates one, because he was genuinely gutted. You could see from that mistake. I mean, you could see how upset he was, and he come out, held his hands up, and said, "Look, that was my error. My mistake." So I can understand. Maybe he thinks, "Well, have a rest, mate. Get your head back in the game for the weekend." So I get that one. Explain Mesut Ozil.
I really don't know. I really don't know why he gets a pass. He must have something fancy written in his contract or something like that to say he doesn't have to go to away games or shitty German opposition. Honestly, really don't understand it at all. Socrates has played every game this season, so you can understand why he deserves a bye. Holding has travelled,
Good.
as has Mustafi.
Oh dear. Well, that guy needs to just stay at home. He can be left in the stands as far as I'm concerned, because that guy's done. And Emery's trying to come out now and say he's happy for him to be a part of the squad still. That's a lie. We know that's a lie. He wanted to get rid of him. He said you can go. Holding, for me, I think should play. I'd like to see him get 90 minutes if he can. He's been playing for the under-23, so I'm happy with that one. But I think it'll be Holding and Luiz, or he may even go for Chambers,
Yeah. I'm hoping. I've written down here: should Holding, Chambers, Willock, Smith Rowe, should they all start? Should they get 90 minutes?
I think I definitely believe Willock should, and I definitely believe that Holding should, 100%. I think the pair of them I think everyone's crying out for Holding to come back, because we're hoping it's the Holding from last season, because we went 22 games unbeaten with Holding in the team. So when he got injured at Old Trafford, I actually thought that was a real big blow, because I think that's the best I've seen him play. And also Chambers, you got to look at Chambers and think the only time he kept a clean sheet was when Callum Chambers played, and he ain't got near the team since. So it'd be interesting to see. I think everybody would like to see them two start. Obviously, Big Steve agrees.
Yeah, Big Steve has messaged into the group. Chambers has to start, and Steve, I don't disagree with you. I think if he doesn't start for this, I'd be gone on to my agent saying, "Get me out of here." Well, what is the guy going to do?
Well, this is the thing. He must be looking at those players in front of him, thinking, "I've got a chance here," and if he's not given it, I think that's a little bit harsh. I mean, I was speaking to Manny yesterday for a bit, and we were talking about Callum Chambers coming as a defensive midfielder. If he's looking for that kind of the rumours where he wanted to look at bringing somebody like Nzonzi in with a stature and a presence, Callum Chambers is a big lad, and he was doing it all season for Fulham last year. So why not give him a chance there? So maybe if he's not going to play him at the back and he wants to play Luiz for whatever reason tonight, then maybe you can look at Chambers as a holding midfielder. It's another option.
Yeah, to be honest, as you said, at Fulham he played there last season. He got Player of the Season,
Player of the Year, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's similar up at Borough the season before when he was on loan. Although both teams did get relegated while he played for them. So,
yeah. Well, this is the thing. The only thing that worries me about Chambers is his lack of pace, but I think he's all right. He's not a bad footballer.
Frankfurt have sold quite a number of their players. They had their Buffalo herd, their three up front. They've sold, who was it? They've sold
Jovic and Haller have gone, haven't they?
Jovic has gone to Real Madrid. He scored 25 goals for them last season, played 54 games. Rebic has gone to Milan, 54 games, 15 goals. And Haller, who was meant to be the flop in the Premier League, it's not looking that bad at West Ham at the minute. He played 70 games and scored 24 goals for them. They've all got lots of assists. So they haven't replaced much of that firepower. They've brought in some loanees and some midfielders and defensive teams. From my daughter's partner, Martin, he's a Dynamo Dresden fan, and he gave us some facts and figures about them because he watches the Bundesliga all the time, and they're not expected to finish anywhere, say, above mid-table in the Bundesliga this year. Okay. So, this could be their final foray in Europe for a little while.
Well, the thing is with them, Ferguson, whoever has come in must be looking at our defence and fancy himself. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't really matter how good or bad their form is. Anybody can score against us at the moment, trust me.
Hooter did make a comment. I don't know if it was on Sky or BBC. There was in one of the previews. He did say he did watch our defensive show in the last half hour at Watford, and they will, like everybody are going to do, they're going to exploit it.
I'm sure he was worried about us. Put it that way. That was an embarrassing second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, indeed, and not to go back over it again because we've done that one. But they have brought in a former player,
Bastos.
Bastos, yeah. He played for Frankfurt 3 years ago. He played 85 games for them, scored 36 goals and 10 assists. What do you know of him?
When he was there a few seasons ago, I rated the lad. I thought he was good. I mean, I don't watch much of the Bundesliga because I'm not a huge fan of German football. However, I do believe that he was one of the players that people were looking at. So didn't work out for him, and he's come back. And sometimes that's the worst thing to happen for opposition because it sometimes it goes back to where it was working for him, and it picks up where he left off. So let's hope that ain't the case tonight.
And I suppose finally, who would you play in goal for Arsenal?
Leno.
I'll tell you what, Leno or
Leno,
would you not give Martinez?
100%. I don't like Martinez. Everyone
He played
tells
well
me
at Reading.
he's been there a couple. Did you see him against Reading when we lost 7-5? Sorry, 1-7-5. That was enough for me. I can't forgive the guy for that. Oh, punching him in his own net. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I think he's good with his feet. I'll give him that. He's good with his feet. I'm not too sure about crosses. He looks like a flapper, but I would play Leno. I just think play Leno. He's your best keeper. Go the whole way through with Leno. You don't need to play two keepers for these competitions. If you want to play him in the League Cup, go for it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Martinez. Obviously, Big Steve is, but I'm not a fan of him.
Big Steve says give Martinez a chance. You know what? I think I agree with you in the sense that it depends how much focus we're putting on the Europa League. If we're putting a focus on the Europa League as being the second most important competition that we're playing in, and it's a route to the Champions League, then Leno, and then keep Martinez for the FA Cup and League Cup. You mentioned Holding, Chambers, and up front you'd like Pepe. Who would you want in the midfield then?
Anybody but Granit Xhaka. I would probably, if I had to pick three, I'd go Torreira, Guendouzi, and Ceballos as a three. I'd have Pepe, Martinelli, and Aubameyang as my front three. And then I would go with, well, we haven't got any choice at fullback at the moment. It's got to be Maitland-Niles and Kolasinac. And then I'd go with Holding and Chambers, and then Leno in goal. That'd be my 11.
Okay. I think it's probably a bit too strong of a side in my view. I'd like to play more with the kids. I would like to see Smith Rowe in the centre and playing in that position. We got a comment here, Andy Phillips. I'm with you, Pottsy. He's been with us for an eternity, never made an impression.
So true.
I'm assuming that's Martinez, Andy.
It's so true, Andy. I'm with you, mate. So true.
Yeah. Listen, I've predicted a 2-2. You've gone for
1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yeah. Neither of us are fancying 3 points, are we?
I don't know. You know what? I think last weekend has a bit of an influence over our optimism. It's away in Germany, which I said before. We don't have a great record away in Germany. If you think, if you think Munich, Cologne, we don't have really many happy memories there. Go on. You were going to say?
I was just going to say, at least it ain't a Bayern Munich 5-1 thing, is it? Let's hope. Jesus, that's always going to haunt me forever, I think. Or 10-2 on aggregate, was it?
10-2 on aggregate, yeah. Let's brush over that one.
Yeah,
listen,
absolutely.
Tune in to us. This will be reposted on YouTube. Do follow us on our YouTube channel, which is Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Obviously, you're following us here on Facebook because you're watching us. Thank you for this very brief update, and hopefully we get 3 points tonight. Thanks very much. And up the arse.
Up the arse.
Now I've got to find the end button.